What it do, people? Cats here with a tutorial on how to make jiggle physics in VRChat. And mainly we're gonna do the breast part, and for this you need the dynamic bone script, which you can get from the asset store. Costs a little bit of money, but yeah, developers also need food, so that's that. I assume you already know the basics of how to make a custom avatar, so we're gonna skip that and just assume you already have your model ready. Now you want to go look in your model for an existing breastbone. If there is, you can skip some parts of this tutorial, but if there's not, we need to make one, and that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna select the mesh and hide it so we can work a little bit easier and find the chest. In edit mode we find the chest bone. Let's see, chest bone, this is the chest bone. We duplicate that and we rename this to breast root. So now we have the breast root, and now we need to create two bones from that bone. So we're gonna select this upper part here from the newly created bone and press E, drag mouse around and click, and now we created a new bone for that bone. So let's do it again because we need two bones, breast left and breast right, and we're gonna name those just like that, breast right. I'm retarded. Breast right and breast left. There you go. And now you want to go to the bone tab here and press connected, so it's disconnected actually. So you can, if you move it around now, it will not mess up the chest bone, which is what we want. So I'm just gonna align these bones a little bit with the mesh area, which we're gonna work with. Just a little bit like this. I'm just gonna eyeball it a little bit. Oops. Yes. I bring the mesh back, and I can see now where I'm placing these bones correctly. Something like this is good. So now we have these two bones. Now if we go into pose mode, you can see that if you move this bone around, nothing's actually happening. So we need to fix that. We need to add a vertex group to a mesh. Let's click on the mesh, press tab. So you go in edit mode and go to this little tab here. Now you have the vertex group area where you can add two. We're gonna add two of those. And we're gonna name one breast left and the other breast right. Just like the bones we created, because they need to have a connection, and they get this connection by naming the vertex group the same as the bone. So, but now we still need to assign the vertices. So let's make sure we are in face select mode and limited selection to visible. And then just shift click the left breast area until you are satisfied enough with your selection. You're just gonna need to tweak a little bit. Sometimes you need to have a bigger area, sometimes very small. It depends on your model. This looks good. I'm just gonna use this. Oh, yes. Okay, now we press the left breast left and we press assign. Now if you did this correctly, we can test this. We select the breast left and deselect and then select again. And you can see the selection has been cleared and made again. So that's good. Now we need to do it for the breast right as well. So let's do that. Let's select all these vertices. Some people like to do this there are other ways to do this. Some people like to click Control and plus keypad. That also works. I'm just using shift right click, breast right, I click breast right, I click assign, deselect, select. It seems to be working. Cool. Now I press back on my armature and go into pose mode and select the breastbone, move it around. You can see it's moving around. And if you move it a little bit like this, you can see a hole there. Yeah, sometimes this is gonna be a problem. You can mess around with weight painting and stuff, but I'm just gonna leave it like this and make the dynamic bone script a little less aggressive. So let's undo all these changes here in pose mode, and I think we're done. Yeah, we're done now with this model. I mean, the pose mode works, the breasts are moving. Let's export it. All right, now we get our model in. Let's yes, okay, we got a model. Now we need to create, click on the model, add a component, dynamic bone, and we need to go in our hierarchy and select the breast root that we created, and click and drag this up on the root option of your dynamic bone script. Now we're done. Now this is minimal configuration. Your character is now having jiggly physics. Let's see if it works. Yep, there you go. It's moving. That's cool. So while this is running, you can also tweak your values, and if you're happy with it, copy the component and then press stop again, and then paste paste component values. Another thing I like to do with the dynamic bone script is end length, either 1 or 2. It extends the bones a little further, making it apply different physics code to it, like it looks more realistic. There's also the thing where people use colliders on their hands. You can do that. You just need to go to your arm, your left wrist, or whatever. Usually I use the middle finger because it's like in the middle of the hand. It makes it easier because as soon as you add a component to that finger, dynamic bone collider, you will see this radius, and you need to shrink that radius a bit because it's hella big. What is good? This looks good. So if you're happy with that, looks good to me, then you copy the component and you go to the other hand and you put it there as well. Paste component as new. Okay, now you press your main character again, and if you did it correctly, you should see these yellow circles now. Cool. Now we can go back to your dynamic bone script and check the colliders, and left click and drag them in. You can't do this. You need to put it on the colliders and then release. Okay, and you do it for the other arm as well. And now you are colliding your hands with your breastbone. Have fun with that. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, that was it. I'll see you guys in VRChat, and enjoy your jiggly physics.